Basic greetings from Kiev, the capital of Ukraine. My name is Viktor Fursov, and today, June 24th, 2018. And I'm in a very interesting place. Today I'm in apiary of my friend Vasyl Priyatelenko. And today actually day is a little bit cloudy. Yesterday was raining, so that's why honeybee is not very busy. We're busy, but not so as usual. That's why we have opportunity to sit down here very close, on a very close distance near the beehive, and I will tell you the story about how this beehive is working. If you are interested in a new technology, in a new effective Ukrainian beehives, so this will be the story about it. I'm able without this whale. Fortunately, they are not very active today, but still just flying around, so I will be trying to be careful. What's about Ukrainian effective beehive of modification of Vasyl Priyatelenko? This is a story, because if you have not seen yet my another stories on my channel, so I will tell you how it's working. Because this beehive is standing here, these two modifications standing here, one modification like this, middle this is the second, and the next one is still the same. So they colorated in Ukrainian national flag colors, yellow and blue. And what is the most important part of this modification of beehive, which was invented by Vasyl Priyatelenko, a very creative Ukrainian beekeeper who just made these beehives himself, just with his hands on his very little small factory. But I will tell you how it's working. So the most important part, this is a frame. This is the frame. Actually, the frame looks like the same as another frames of another beehives, but this is very special frame because of the presence of this metallic N-shaped top bar. Right, I already showed it, and so you can recognize how it looks like. So this is top bar, not done from wood, but this is metallic, and this is N-shaped top bar with size 7 to 7 millimeters. So why we did it? Why he did it? Actually, this is very important, and I will tell you how it's going on. And actually, this size of this frame is a standard Ukrainian size. So this is here 265, and here 460, if I am not wrong. 415 millimeters. So, and we use standard foundation, standard wax foundation. And why this frame is very useful? Because this is a narrow lawn. So, and for honeybees, it's very useful, especially in conditions of Ukraine, to overwinter on this type of frame. Because if honeybees are overwintering, so we're moving the club from here to upward, and they're just using the honey slowly and effectively, everything, and they do not die during the winter. So very good for overwintering. But what's about the frame? Frame is very special. And why it's very special? Because it's standing inside this beehive, right? And you see here, it's standing here inside. This is the size like that. So 8 frames will be inside. 8 frames will be inside. This is the first part, 8 frames. And what will be on the top? On the top, this is the second story, because this is multi-story beehive. We need to use altogether 3 stories, 3 boxes. Number 1, number 2, and number 3 just down there. Now we use just only 2, because actually harvest is not very high at the present time, so 2 will be good enough. For beginning, this is a down part, this part. We call it brood section. Brood section because on this section with these frames, honeybees will develop in and will make in just the brood. So this foundation will be very useful for creating the colony here. So this first part will be colony, just the brood section, 8 frames. And on the top will be again 8 frames, but another size, 265, like this, like quadrated frames, and again with the metallic top bar. So, and here will be 8 frames, but the most important, that we are standing here just in front of, like this. Yeah, so they are standing in the cross position. Why they're standing on the cross position? Because it's providing very interesting peculiarities of this beehive. First of all, here also very narrow bar. Here 7 millimeters on 7 millimeters, but downside this is a wooden. It's a good enough. On the top this is metallic, and when we put it all together, so we do not use here the gap between. Be careful. Between two stories. They are standing all together, and they are just crosswise standing here, without a gap between boxes. Why no gap between boxes? Because if we put these quadrate frames on the top, this again like this quadrate frames on the top, so they're in the cross position, and this very narrow foundation, this very narrow top bar will provide in the opportunity that honeybees will squeeze between all these small trees, between all these frames here. Because if I am standing like that, okay, and we put here next one, like that, this upper side do not close all the surface, and honeybees can easily move from here, from the down narrow long frames to these quadrate frames. They move coming from down up and then again up. So they're moving very easily without any stop. If you're just making a gap, they will stop and will decide go upstairs or not go upstairs. They will still thinking and making some break in their work. And again for queen and for working bees. If there is no gap, they easily move, and it's creating just united colony all together. And by the way, of course, this second part here on this second story, which is used like that, is used especially for collecting honey. So this on the top will be collected honey here only. So we will harvest honey from the top. Here will be just good enough space for the colony, and on the top will be good enough for collection, for harvesting honey. But this is for not very big colony, but if a colony is a big one, we use 3 frames. For that we use like that. On the downs we put quadrate story on the down, then brood box, and then again next one. On the top again, but also in the cross position. All these 3 boxes will have cross positioning of frames, down, middle, and on the top. Like, just like this, like that, and like that. Yes. So they're all in a cross position. Of course, we put here foundation already just grown with, which has been built by honeybees down there. And on the top we use a new foundation here for collecting honey. So honeybees will create all here cells themselves. If we put here already built it foundation, so the colony will grow down. The colony will grow down, and on the top will be just the honey section, only harvesting section. So you see, like this. And this is all will be united colony, because we don't use a gap between the down section, middle section, and also between middle section and the top section. All these frames united together. So you can say they will be just attached too much between them. So because no gap, and because of all frames attached to each other. Yes, this is a good suggestion, but nevertheless, this already experienced during many years, during already 9 years of experience. It's quite easy to attach, to create all these colonies together, and also dismount it. The upper box, upper story easily can be dismounted, and the middle one and the down one. But actually when it's working, you do not need to dismount it. This is a good story, because if you already mounted two boxes like this, so this will be a very big and strong colony. So here 8 frames and here 8 frames, so good colony growing, and so you don't need to check what's going on inside. So I call it, will be like the beehive for weekend. So you can visit your apiary, you can visit your couple beehives or more and just check it, how we're working. Do not worry, just we're not so maybe irritated. So okay, so you don't need to check what's going inside your beehive. So all beehive will be working. You need only just to wait, because if you mounted all 2 boxes, on the top will be visible section, like here. Yeah, hope so it's visible, like here. And on the top, this roof, you must close it with plastic, or with a plastic silicone on the top. So it's covered, so the roof will be transparent. And through the roof, you can easily check the situation, how the colony is growing, and if on the top will already just grown part, you can decide what you will be doing, the next. And the next part on the top, you need also to put, especially in the summertime, this metallic sheet, like this. Yes, plastic and then metallic sheet, like this. Yeah, this it's done from iron, because this is for this section, so it's quadrated. Also, this is, and this second one, this is a bigger box for second modification, like here. Honeybees, go. This is providing actually concentration of water. You say, why water? What's water? What's about water in beehive? That's dangerous. Maybe you are right, maybe you are not. But for this modification of beehive, it's not dangerous, because in a summertime, when you put here this metallic sheet on the roof and plastic on the downware, the water will be concentrated on plastic inside beehive. You say again, dangerous. Not dangerous at all, because this water will be used by honeybees inside beehive. Very easily can be used. So honeybees don't need to take water inside beehive. They will use internal water. That's interesting, very funny, you will say. So we do not spend time, we do not spend efforts to collect water outside, and also this water usually concentrated somewhere just on these metallic parts and on these parts of a foundation which is propolised, by the way. You can see this is a little bit brown foundation. Why? Because this is propolised foundation, and it smells, by the way, it smells with propolis, so a little bit brown. This is fresh one foundation, yellow, and this is not old one, not after hatching honeybees. This is just propolised foundation. Or, for example, this is small, again, this is a fresh one, this is just fresh foundation, and this one, again, brown, already also propolised, so brown color. That's not already second use, second time after hatching. No, this is a propolised for foundation. So water which is used inside, propolised, so this is healthy water. So honeybees just saving the efforts, saving time, and they use healthy water inside beehive. So this is a second feature of this beehive. And also for this beehive, as I said, we use 2 different modifications. Sorry for long story, but I need to show you this is one modification and this is a second modification. So this is box from the middle modification. And why it is used for different? Because colony can be bigger and smaller, so you can be stronger, you can be just a little bit weaker. As a woman can easily use this modification because it's lighter, not so heavy. 8 frames, easy to dismount, easy to remove. If you are just stronger man, so you can work with the bigger one because it needs some movement sometimes. So of course this will be more heavy, but more productive as well, because colony will be very strong and very big. And on the top side, so there is a second chamber, and the second chamber, so you see the down chamber is here, longer. It's used like that. In the longer chamber, we stand in this positioning, and on the top we put again on the second chamber frames like that. So this is Dadan frames, and down there this is Ukrainian standard frame. And why again we use it? So when we use this type of construction, again it's a good to make united construction for beehive. For when we use the second part like that, so honeybees will collect only honey on the top chamber. So on upper chamber will be especially only for collecting harvest, so for harvesting. So that's why middle part will be here. 12 frames in the middle, more like this, standing here, and on the top will be 8 frames in this crossed positioning again. So I can show you like this. So this frame standing like this, and again, and we put on the top these frames like that. Yeah, so we are standing in this cross positioning. And again, you can say they will be attached too much, will be very difficult to dismount frames. Not at all, because frames connected only in 8 or connected here in several points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 11, 12. In 12 parts here, these crossed points. So that's why they can be easily dismounted. They are not completely attached to each other, all frames between 2 chambers. But when they are standing like this, again I can repeat it, there will be no gap between chambers, so honeybees will easily move from one chamber to another, so and they create just united colony. It's quite useful for growth of the colony, so they're developing very quickly, they grow very fast, so they're becoming stronger, and strong colony, as you know, will collect more honey for sure. So that's kind of a construction which we use here in Ukraine, and this is called Ukrainian Beehive, of modification of Vasyl Priyatelenko, Ukrainian Beekeeper. So I hope so. Maybe I will take another part of this video. I can open one of these beehives and we can see what's going inside. And again I repeat, when we mount second chamber, we put here frames like this in a cross positioning, and again we cover it with a plastic on the top, we cover with plastic and put on the top metallic sheet like this. And it's already proven for during the last 9 years that it's working for collecting water inside beehive, and it's very useful, productive for the colony to use internal water. It's healthy, easy for honeybees, don't spend too much time to take water from outside, and they don't use actually too much efforts for ventilation. This water just easily used from inside, and because of here plastic, as I repeat again, we can look inside how colony is growing. So when it's plastic, you can easily open plastic or close plastic, and you don't need to disturb your honeybees because they are still working. You don't need some honeybees, some beekeepers use all the time. Check it, what's going on here? Yes, the queen is just laying eggs or not laying eggs. Okay, very important. Put it again. Oh, laying eggs or not laying eggs. Oh, not laying eggs. They're difficult. Checking it very often. No, for this construction, we do not open all these chambers. The chambers are working themselves all together. This is some kind of a peculiarities of technology. That's not easy to discuss about it during 15-20 minutes. Even now, immediately, step by step, you can recognize all these features of technology in my next video from this interesting apiary, and I hope so I attracted your attention to this kind of beehive. And Vasyl is coming very soon. We will open several beehives and we'll show you how it's working, what is inside. And today this is time for harvesting, so we just came today to take honey. So this will be a very pleasant and good day. So that's why I go use just this break, because he's busy at this moment. Just to tell a little bit more about all these frames, about the changes in these frames, and to say that this modification of frame with a metallic top bar is really very effective. So you can try, you can order this beehive and you can mount it in your area where you live. So you can use it either like a weekends beehive, because it uses less work as possible. Actually, it's very useful if you are busy with your business. If your business, you are not a professional beekeeper, so it will be easy for you to manage it. But if you are professional, you can also recognize that this beehive is quite useful, because this beehive is healthy for honeybees, also easy to manage and quite very good in production. Even without transportation, without moving outside your apiary, it will give you just a good harvest of honey. I think we will show it today what is inside the second chamber and how much honey we have collected already till now on the 28th day of June. We will see inside. So thank you for watching. Press likes if you were surprised or interested in this construction of Ukrainian beehive, and I will tell you more stories in my next videos from apiary of Vasyl, Priyatelenko, and from laboratory. Oh, you can see some very detailed explanation in my presentation in Apislavia and Apimondia and other conferences in Russian and also in English for sure, in Apislavia and Apimondia. So, and order from Vasyl, Priyatelenko. This beehive will be very useful and productive in your area, in your country, in your city, in your village, in your interesting little place. And so